Hi, I'm Aiman, and welcome back to one of my tool review videos. In today's video, I want to do a review of the DeWalt 20V XR compact chainsaw. And so first off, we'll start off with a demonstration. Very easy to use. It's plug and play with a battery. Just plug it in. And right now the brake is engaged so that, for safety reasons. But if you pull this up, pull this down, and then take this off. Let's test it out. Alright, so that one took a decent amount of time. Let's try it on this branch right here. There we go. Awesome. Alright, so as you can see, I'm not a master lumberjack because I was improperly cutting. Instead of going side to side, I should be forcing most of my force downwards. So knowing that, my dad's teaching me, I'm going to try it again. Hold on. Yeah, like I said, not master lumberjack. But I think there's never a time to stop learning. And I'm 18 years old. There are some other people who definitely don't know how to chainsaw. And I think people should keep on trying to learn and not get discouraged by how old they might be. So let's try it. I'm going to try wiggling it up and down. Wow, that was very fast. That could have gone faster, but like I said, I'm still practicing. But as you can see, a perfect cut. Some of you who use chainsaws a lot might not be happy with the speed that it's cutting at, but that is not just due to the chainsaw itself, but rather the chain. So this uses a more safer chain for a more smoother cutting experience. But for a chainsaw, a chain like this, for example, this is a chisel chain. It is better at cutting faster, but it also has more kickback. There's more of a risk of it while you're cutting it going up into you if something goes wrong. So if you really want to cut something faster, you might want to opt for a different chain. So mileage may vary, but for the uses that we bought this for, which is just for cutting small branches on that tree, for example, I think this will work out. We already have a pole saw. I've done a video on that if you're interested. And that pole saw is going to be for the more higher branches, but we want to get the thicker, smaller branches. The smaller branches that are thicker than those branches that are closer to the ground. And so this one will help us do that job. And this is a 12-inch chainsaw. This one right here is 14-inch chainsaw. I bet if you did this on both sides of a tree, you could probably cut a 20-inch tree in diameter. This one would be 26-inch. But we're not going to do anything big like that, so it's definitely okay that we have one that's this short. Compared to that one's only 8 inches, so this 12-inch is definitely a huge improvement. But the reason that we bought this is more than just the length. It's this part right here. It's battery operated. Compared to a gas-powered chainsaw like this one right here, you don't have to lug around gasoline every time you want to use your chainsaw. This one is just plug and play. You put it inside the chainsaw and you're ready to go. So talking about the chainsaw, it comes, there's no assembly that needs to be done. It just comes like this in the box. Now we bought this tool only. We didn't get the battery because we already had the battery. If you want to buy it with the battery, it's about $250, and we got it for $160. So about a $90 difference, tool only versus battery. Really, the only thing that you need is bar and chain oil. So we put it right here. So we twist this cap, and that's where we put the bar and chain oil. Okay. But another benefit of this chainsaw is that it's toolless. Now with this pole saw, in order to adjust the chain, you need to loosen it with a tool like this one. And you would put it, I believe, here. But the benefit with this chainsaw is you don't need to use a tool. All right, so first off, let's make sure we engage the safety before we take a look here. So on this side, to adjust and loosen the chain, you can use this dial right here. And if you want to access the space under this cover, then you would flip this up and just loosen it. And then you can get access to this area. This allows you to change the chain, whereas with that pole saw, you'd have to use an Allen wrench in order to take off that cover, and then when you put the cover back on, you'd have to loosen it. This one, you just put it back on and screw it in using this pre-installed dial. And then, even though it's not fully locked in, I'm just going to shorten it for time. You can just flip it closed to keep it like that. We've only had this chainsaw for a few days, but one problem that we've noticed is leaking. If you try to store the chainsaw when it's flat like this, it will leak, or it will probably leak. But if you store it with the blade facing on the bottom, it will definitely leak. And that's because the ball and chain oil is on the other side. But if you store it like this, assuming that you perfectly put it, then it won't leak because the ball and chain oil will be on the bottom where the cap is, which will stop it from leaking. Which, is just a problem that we've noticed. The fact that it can leak while it's just sitting like this is a bit of a minor problem. But we bought it because of the battery. And what can you expect out of a $150 plug and play chainsaw? For what we need it for, it's pretty good. But my dad is he used to be a pretty regular DeWalt buyer. We have a DeWalt chainsaw, a DeWalt impact driver, DeWalt drills, you name it. And my dad always bought them, but recently he started to think that DeWalt takes it for granted, and they produce suboptimal machinery. How come this leaks? How come that pole saw leaks, but that Stihl chainsaw that we've had for 15 years never leaks? When I become a mechanical engineer at Harvard, maybe I'll figure out a way to prevent leaks like this from happening. I know it's ironic that I'm going to Harvard, but I don't know how to operate a chainsaw. The irony is not lost on me, but I'm still learning. But the fact that it leaks is a minor inconvenience, but still the fact that it has a battery, I guess kind of makes up for it. And another thing is that because this is engine operated, it can get very loud and very hot. When you're working in the summer, 90-degree heat, this can be a pain to use over long periods of time. But this one doesn't get as hot, and it's also quieter. It's so quiet that you could probably saw down someone's house while they're still in it, and they wouldn't notice. Don't do that. But this one definitely does have a lot of advantages over the Stihl chainsaw, or just a regular chainsaw. But there are some times when we might still use the Stihl chainsaw, like when we're cutting something big, or we need a heavy-duty chainsaw. But for now, this will be trusty. Alright, so for now, I'm Aiman, and thanks for watching. That was the review of this DeWalt chainsaw. compact battery-operated chainsaw. And that's all. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and look at videos on EyeOnAiman, especially the video on that pole saw. I did that maybe 2 or 3 years ago. It's a very useful chainsaw. We've used it to like trim trees around my friend's house. I will say that it's a bit finicky to use, and the fact that it can't like detract to a smaller size still is a bit of an inconvenience. But very good. And it's a good thing that we got this chainsaw, because that will help us with the more accessible branches, because trying to cut branches that are very close to you with that pole saw, it's difficult. But for now, I'm Aiman, and signing out.